Good morning, members of the media, wider viewing and listening public of Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to today's press conference at the Ministry of National Security. At the conclusion of Carnival, I think I can officially say that Carnival is now over and we've had a safe and successful Carnival from a national security point of view. And I have with me here today the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Griffith, the Deputy Commissioner of Police Acting, Mr. Dulal Chan, and our Acting Chief of Defence Staff, Group Captain Daniel. So I'd like to start by asking the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service just to give us a quick and brief idea of what took place over the last few months that culminated in Carnival Monday and Tuesday and the statistics associated. Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. The operation is still ongoing. We still have several events taking place today, Ash Wednesday, which even though it is supposed to be a working day, there are many events and persons somehow have turned this into a day where it is of relaxation. So, and through the use of technology, the use of the drones and the other arms of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we are monitoring all of these locations. So it is not yet completed by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service as it pertains to the Carnival operational plan. As the Minister stated, this was not just Carnival Monday and Tuesday. This involved operations throughout the Carnival season. There were over 200 events. I am pleased to say that all 200, it has been virtually incident-free in comparison to years gone by. I will hand you over to the Goal Commander, Mr. Dulal Chan, who will actually give you more statistics. But it is not just about statistics that can give the impression or the perception that it was an incident-free and carnival, and I think that we were very successful in our operation. When you have hundreds of thousands of persons involved in events throughout Trinidad and Tobago for the last few months, inclusive of Carnival Monday and Tuesday, there would always be a few incidents. In comparison to years gone by, I am pleased to state that it is the lowest number of crime or criminal activities that have taken place in Trinidad and Tobago. But it is not just about statistics, as I will just close off on. It has to do much more with the perception and the fear of crime. I think that was greatly reduced, and it had to do not just with the cosmetic, it's not cosmetic showing, but we were able to analyze situations. We looked at data, we looked at where criminal activities took place, where persons would converge into commit crime, and we were able to utilize our resources in an effective and efficient manner. And by doing that, it played its part in reducing crime, but also to take away the perception and fear of crime. And that is just as important as crime reduction itself. So arguably, I think it has been fairly successful. There will always be room for improvement. I know there's going to be the question pertaining to the absenteeism of police officers. I am pleased to state that it has been the highest attendance of officers in the police service in years for Carnival Monday and Tuesday. On Monday, we gave the 95% attendance. I think it is now about 97 to 98%. And it may also increase because now we have to look at at officers who may be sick, that will have sick leave. So again, I would like to take this opportunity to commend each and every police officer for the performance of their duties. They stood up and they rose to the occasion, and they did what was required to ensure the safety and security of the law-abiding citizens over the Carnival period.
Mr. Dulal.
I would just like to add to say that the success of the Carnival was not only on the part of the doing of the police, but I think it's important to note the role that the media played, as well as the general community, and more so the masqueraders and all stakeholders. So I also want to take the opportunity to congratulate them. What I have noted is that I would have been focusing as to what was happening in the entire country. And a marked difference this year was the amount of persons who were on the streets for Carnival. The numbers were phenomenal, and the time they were in the streets, up to 12 o'clock Monday night, 2:30 in the morning, we had Carnival activities. And when I got in numbers, like for example, in Scarborough last night at 12 o'clock, 10,000 people on the streets, Cedras, Arima, San Fernando, Princestown, Grandi, and the question was asked, and I told them, I said, well, I am of the view that because of persons' perception of crime and the fact that they are feeling comfortable, that probably would have been one of the reasons why we had so many people on the streets actively taking part in Carnival, and the hours that they were in fact on the road. Yes, I would agree with the Commissioner that we did in fact have a very successful carnival, 12 SRCs. When you compare a total of a high of 46, and we more or less try to look at the number of SRCs within the carnival village, just for us to get a clearer picture as to our policing impact that we would have made. I got feedback this morning that we did in fact made some inroads into trying to have people leave Port of Spain very quickly, and that's an all work. And yes, there's always room for improvement, but I think all in all, from a general standpoint, the TTPS has every reason, together with the other arms of national security, to stand tall this morning. I mean, Carnival has come and gone. We still have Ash Wednesday, and then we have now to go back into our routine task of making Trinidad and Tobago much more safer and one that we all wish for.
Thank you very much. And I'll now pass us over to our acting CDS, Group Captain Daniel, and he's going to address, you all have heard us talking over the last few weeks, in fact, a couple months, about our border and how our borders were too porous, and the work we've been doing and the focus we've been placing and the specific emphasis on our border security. So I'd like Group Captain Daniel to just give the country an update on how that has been going.
Honourable Minister, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, members of the media. Your Defence Force has continued over the period discussed to meet two of its key main responsibilities. One, to protect the sovereign and defend the sovereign good of Trinidad and Tobago, and two, to cooperate with and assist the civil power in maintaining law and order. We have done this by the following. We have employed our assets around Trinidad and Tobago as part of the National Border Security Plan. These measures include, among other things, use of the National Coastal Radar System, which covers 360 degrees around Trinidad and Tobago, and we have employed the air assets to provide aerial coverage and verification of what the radar picture would have provided. We have used the maritime patrols on the north and south coast where we are most at threat based on the current concerns, and land patrols would have been coordinated to support those maritime patrols. What has been our success specifically over the last month? We have intercepted and detained 60 persons on land and at sea, and we have handed them over to the appropriate authorities. We have had sightings and deterrences of at least 10 vessels attempting to land at unauthorized ports of entry on the north coast. And what would have happened there is those vessels would have turned back and gone over the border. We would have even addressed one vessel reported from the Venezuelan embassy to our Coast Guard as missing, and we would have found the vessel and provided the necessary assistance. With respect to the carnival operations, we'd have continued our routine operations, for example, in the interagency task force, doing those patrols in the respective areas. And specifically for Carnival, we would have had quick reaction forces employing 200 personnel of the Defence Force on standby at our camps to respond to any eventualities over the Carnival period. We are grateful with the efforts of the police that all went well and the citizens responded well as well. So we had a relatively quiet Carnival as was discussed. In specific area in Moruga, you would have realized that we had a walkabout last Tuesday. Members of the media would have been there and would have been provided feedback to the national public. But in that area, we are employing law enforcement initiatives in the form of maritime patrols to address the border challenges that we have there, and coastal and confidence patrols, interacting with the public and the community to provide assistance and guidance as necessary. We will continue with these efforts, and you'll see some community engagements. I mentioned the walkabout we had last week. We'll have some infrastructure support where the community will identify areas of need for infrastructure that needs assistance, for example, painting of schools or repairs of walls and so on, that the community will identify, and we will work with them to address those issues. We'll have a medical caravan where we'll go with our partners, Ministry of Health, Defence Force, and other personnel to provide medical assistance to the elderly and others in need as identified by the community as well. We'll also execute sports initiatives to bring football, cricket, and other activities to encourage sport back in the area, including competitions that we'll try to ensure it continues and it's not just a one-off effort. There'll be clearing and cleaning of the waterways and At the end, we'll look at a family day and Easter celebration competitions as a culmination of our efforts in that area. It is necessary, as necessary, we will move this program around the country to reinforce the intention to bring stability and security in our regions and our communities as necessary. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner of Police, Deputy Commissioner of Police, and Acting CDS. Fellow citizens, as the Minister of National Security for now just over 6 months, I can tell you that yesterday and on Monday, I felt a tremendous sense of pride as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And as we did our walkabouts, as I did my walkabouts on Monday with the Commissioner of Police, starting from Juve morning through Port of Spain, and then down in San Fernando and even Carapachima, there was a real sense of confidence and a sense of calm throughout the country. As we did our walkabout yesterday, and it was an extensive walkabout, starting here at the ministry down to South Key, through Piccadilly, up to the Savannah, across the Savannah, across Arapita Avenue, ending at the Socadrome. I can tell you that as a citizen, I stand here today, and on your behalves, I thank all of the men and the women of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, all of the men and women of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, our intelligence services, the fire services, and even our prison services, our lifeguards, and our immigration officers who played their own specific parts in making Carnival the success that it was. I can say now without fear of contradiction that Carnival 2019, from a national security point of view, was the safest, if we use the statistics as our measurement, in many years. In fact, I've been provided with the statistics. When DCP Dulal Chan spoke about SRCs, very often in national security they use a lot of acronyms. SRCs, for us, the members of the public, are serious reported crimes. And I can tell you all, for Carnival 2014, there were 46. 2015, there were 40. 2016, 24. 2017, 16. Last year, there were 21 SRCs. And I stand here today and I commend all of those who worked hard. We began preparations in October of last year, all the way through to Monday and Tuesday, to declare and announce that the serious reported crimes for Carnival period this year, 2019, fell to a record 12. This is not something, as the Commissioner of Police said, we will be sitting on our laurels and patting ourselves on the back. We will continue to work hard, and that's part of my message here today, and as I've been saying throughout the last 2 days. Now that Carnival, Monday and Tuesday, are over, yes, there continue to be activities today, Ash Wednesday. National security will be continuing to focus on the fight against the criminal element. Two things we've been seeing continuously since I came into office is the use of interagency efforts. And again, yesterday, I'm happy to say that on our walkabout, for the first time, I'm told in a very long time, we had the heads of prison as well as the fire services walking along with our Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and our Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, and in particular the regiment. Well, Group Captain Daniel is from the Air Guard. These walks in the past had become something of just an occurrence. But I can tell you that yesterday, the walk took a specific, it held a different dimension. And certainly the feedback we got and continue to get throughout the course of the day. And I saw today in one of the daily newspapers a unanimous vote of confidence by the population that they felt safer this Carnival. You saw it. You saw more uniformed officers out. You've heard the record statistics of 95 up to 98% of our men and women in the police service reporting to duty. The commissioner, the deputy commissioner, Mr. Dulal Chan, as the goal commander, are to be commended for that effort. This has been a group effort, but the leadership that we're seeing throughout national security at all levels with all our divisions, all of the bodies in national security, are taking a new It's a new energy, I keep saying, that is taking place. And the public will feel the benefits of what is taking place right now. Very often we forget about our immigration officers. You all will recall in the past few years, there were difficulties at the Piarco airport, and in particular as our air entry point. I'd like to commend all of the immigration officers, all of the men and women at immigration, and also customs, although customs isn't form part of national security, it falls under the Ministry of Finance, for the great work and great effort that they put in making sure that this year there weren't the videos of the long lineups in the immigration hall at Piarco, and things flowed smoothly. You would recall that after leaving Moruga last week, Tuesday, I, along with some others in charge of security, met with the Minister of Works, and we did a walkthrough of the Piarco airport. Part of my journey to Piarco last week, Tuesday, I met with the head of immigration up there and gave them words of encouragement and asked them to up their efforts. And I'm glad that they heeded that call. So I thank our immigration officers, our lifeguards who are on duty over the course of the carnival period. I'd also like to thank them. The prison officers who ensured that there were no untoward events at our prison service. Our fire officers who worked alongside our Trinidad and Tobago police service throughout a very long carnival period, over 2 months, for the tremendous work that they too did. So by and large, today I stand proud as the Minister of National Security, but more so as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, that we have now delivered a very safe and successful carnival for 2019. There will always be minor incidents in every single country of the world. It is impossible to police every single inch and corner. And in ending with my thanks, I'd like to thank the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, because the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, by and large, did their parts. They followed the instructions of the police officers. That went smoothly. And I'd like to end by saying this, that until every single citizen takes that personal decision to get back on track and to build the track of being a law-abiding country, we are going to have our struggles. Every single one of us carries a responsibility as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. It doesn't only lie on the Minister of National Security shoulders, Chief of Defense Staff shoulders, the Commissioner of Police shoulders. We all carry our responsibilities and our duties, and at the leadership level in all of the arms of national security, you are seeing that change in environment, the change in attitude, and we hope that it filters down and it refocuses throughout Trinidad and Tobago, and it spreads with positivity. I'd like to thank you, the members of the media, as DCP Dulal Chan did, for the tremendous job you all did in the coverage over a very intense period of the last 48 hours, Carnival Monday and Tuesday, and for the good work that you all did. I keep saying that it's very important, putting on now my Minister of Communications hat, it's very important that we communicate to the population the positives. There are a lot of positives in Trinidad and Tobago. Don't always look for the negatives. And the walk that you saw taking place yesterday was a positive walk. You could feel it, you could feel the energy. The citizens were happy. Everybody was stopping us and telling us how happy, how safe and secure they felt. Focus on the positive sides. That was not a cosmetic public relations exercise. It was very, very real. We expanded our walk to ensure that we got the maximum amount of feel and touch with as many citizens in Trinidad and Tobago as we could in this concentrated area. I think I heard the Gold Commander say, and the Commissioner of Police, it was over 300 to 400,000 people concentrated in Port of Spain over Monday and Tuesday. That is a big, big percentage of persons participating in the activities. And for that to end with only 12 throughout the country, only 12 serious crimes reported, that is a tremendous success by any means of measurement. And I thank everyone for the roles that they played. And I end by saying, before we take some questions, our job has not stopped. We are going to continue. In fact, this afternoon, we're going to our weekly meeting of heads of national security to continue our discussions and pushing the intelligence-driven operations that you all will see unfolding in the coming weeks and months. as we attempt to make Trinidad and Tobago a safer and more secure place.